Chapter 2.1 in Demanna, Finney, in question number 7, it says use substitution to evaluate. So basically, with all limits, we want to substitute in the limit value to see what happens, to evaluate. Okay, so and if we get a value that we can evaluate, that is the limit. So plugging in 1/2, I get 1/2 squared times 2 times 1/2 minus 1. I'm going to evaluate this. I get 3/8, and this becomes 1 minus 1, which is 0, so the limit is equal to 0. So we say that the limit of this expression is equal to 0 because when we plug in, we end up with 0. Here we're going to plug in y equals 2, so the limit, we get 4 plus 2 times 5 is 10 plus 6 over 4. Again, we can evaluate this number, so we're going to just leave it as our limit. So we end up with 20 over 4, so the limit is equal to 5. So we always plug in the limit first, and if we can evaluate a number, that's the limit. Okay, here we plug in x is 1/2. The greatest integer of 1/2 is equal to 0, so then that's our limit. Okay, so as we approach 1/2, we're going to end up with a y value of 0. Now, where we have values that we cannot evaluate, that's when we may have to do some extra work, some algebra. So if we end up with something like this, 0 divided by 0, then we have to do something to get rid of that divide by 0, and then we can plug in our numbers to evaluate. But these ones here, when we plug them in, we get values that we can evaluate. So those are the answers.